What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the VetRise Podcast. Today is going to be Convos with JP. So this is a conversation I have with my clients, and it's called Convos with JP, where I bring together all of my clients, and they ask the pressing questions, the things that they are wondering about, how they can possibly make a change in their physical, their mental, their spiritual. Anything and everything is fair game, and then I have the chance to answer those questions. So without further ado, thank you for joining me. I hope you get some value. If you want to be a part of the group, if you want to be a part of the Savage Squad, and if you actually want to be able to ask me questions, go ahead and click on the link in the comment section and apply for the coaching program. So without further ado, here we go. Welcome to the VetRise Podcast. I'm your host, Juan Perez. My goal is to make success after service accessible to every veteran in society. I believe in the power of leveraging your service, not as a label that defines you, but as a launching pad for your next chapter. What we have been doing has not been working, and it's on us to start changing the culture. Enjoy the episode, and thank you for your time. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Convos with JP. So this is going to be the Wednesday Q&As. This is the very first time we're doing this. And the reason we're doing this is because I want to give you guys more touch points, more opportunities to ask questions. Who would like to be the guinea pig and feel uncomfortable and go first?
Okay, my first question. I'm gonna ask one for now. But now that it's cold, everything feels harder.
Yeah.
And I'm still waking up. I'm still going in the morning, but like today I was like, I'm not doing the cold shower. It is so cold. Like in the teens. I don't like, how do you overcome that? Like, I don't want to.
So the one thing that we can do consistently, and you're right, it is cold. It's harder. Like, I get that. Trust me. Like, I had to defrost my car the other day, and I was out there, and I wasn't wearing gloves, and it was hard.
It's like 17 degrees at 4 a.m. Like,
yeah. So what can you do to make sure that you still follow through with what you want to do? You choose what your non-negotiables are, and you choose what you're going to do to lower your action threshold, which means that if you know that it's going to be freaking cold outside and it's going to take you an extra 10 minutes to warm up your car, and if you know that you're going to have to put on 4 or 5 layers, that means that you have to prepare even more ahead of time. But the only way to prepare more ahead of time is by removing all the barriers and kind of just roadblocks that we've had for ourselves. So if you have your clothes all over the place and it takes you forever to get ready in the morning because now you have to find like your jacket where you put it, you got to make sure you have your warming layers, and you have to make sure your bag is packed, and you didn't fill up your water because we get used to drinking a lot less during the winter months that now you have to fill up your water. That makes it harder for you. So for example, a cold shower in the morning, I still do the ice barrel in the morning, but you best believe that I got freaking 5 towels like waiting for me right by my doorway. My heat is cranking inside, right? Like, I'm okay with having to do more laundry and wash more towels throughout the month than me not doing my ice barrels in the morning. So like, I set up things that I can use to help me still do it. Going to the gym. I've been going to the gym with Sam now. That means that I have to be able to travel again with a bag. And that means that I have to take the kids to daycare and then go straight from there to the gym. So that means that my gym bag has to be something that is done, because if it's not, I have to start doing that while I'm trying to get the kids ready. So like during the winter months, it's just like anything else in life. It just gets harder and your willpower kind of goes away a little bit. And the strategic answer is make your life easier by planning for everything as much as you can, lowering your action threshold, putting all your stuff right there by the door ready to go, your warming layers. Like this is me included. I have like 7 different types of gloves and hats from like the 10 years that I've been collecting them. I've been getting rid of them, like donating them, just trying to remove all that stuff from my life, because believe it or not, the more options actually causes more of a headache. So I'd rather have the one jacket, the one pair of gloves, the one hat right there by the door that I know I'm going to grab. I don't need 10 things clogging up that entry door closet. So that's strategic. Mindset-wise, like right now is the time everybody quits. This is the month when everyone's like, oh, I'm going to wait till January. Like, this is the month when a lot of people tell themselves like, oh, well, I'm going to really, like 2025 is going to be my year. Like, let that fire you up. Let that fire you up and remind yourself that 2024 has been your year. You don't have to wait till next year. It's a whole like 30 days. Like, you don't have to wait. You can do it now. So like, go to the gym and start enjoying how empty it is for this month. And like really thrive on the fact that like you're still doing it when other people are quitting. Because if you can do it when it's hard in the summer when things are freaking like going so easy for you, it's more than just like a program. This is a lifestyle, which you've already been doing. So does that help? Does that make sense? Feedback. What do you got?
Yeah. Yeah, I just like it's for sure a mindset thing. Like the preparedness part, I think I have for the most part. But I mean, like I don't have volleyball right now, so I could work out after, but I don't want to keep making that change every time I'm in and out of season. Like I just want to be consistent with that. But yeah, it's like a mental thing. It's like I don't want to. And I could make excuses. I could move things around, but I'm trying to commit to what I have planned out already.
Do you want my direct opinion on that?
Yeah.
Don't change a thing.
Okay.
Like do it when it's hard. If you were to tell yourself, because it's so easy right now, of like, well, I don't have volleyball, so I can work out after work.
Yeah.
Like you've taken away a superpower that you've given yourself.
Yeah.
Because like right now you're doing it, and the moment that you stop doing it, you might actually lose a little bit of confidence in yourself because you're like, oh well, I haven't been waking up in the mornings, and like maybe you'll still go to the gym, but you'll lose a little of that edge that I think right now that you really need, you know? So don't change a thing. Just like the willpower, think of that. Like you have the edge. You have an edge right now. Develop a freaking like mindset of like this alter ego of like you go to the gym and like you start watching people drop like flies because you know what? You're waking up at 4 freaking in the morning, hopping in that cold shower, driving your ass to the gym and doing more than most people do in their entire day. And like I think that's pretty cool.
Okay. I agree. Thank you.
Awesome. Glad to help.
I don't think I'm there, but what is the use of like the belt, the lifting belt thing? Like at what point do you use it? Is it helpful? I don't.
The lifting
but I
belt.
see it, and sometimes I'm like, does that?
The lifting belt has its use. Specifically, it's a power lifter type of tool, and it has its uses for stabilizing your core and possibly preventing injury. But the thing is that is specifically for people that are doing like heavy lifting on deadlifts, on barbell squats, even some bench press. But really, what the use of it is to stabilize your core. So basically, people wear belts, people wear gloves, people wear knee braces because they want to make sure that they can lift more and they have to use less of that body part. So it's not that it's cheating. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. I mean, there's arguments for both. But basically, if you put a lifting belt on, your body can focus on doing the barbell squat and using the proper body parts and lifting more instead of your body having to focus on stabilizing your core, right? So if you wear wrist wraps, you can probably bicep curl more heavier weight because now you've kind of added this support to an area that your wrist is kind of fortified, right? So like now you can curl a lot more weight because your wrist is not necessarily working the same. So I used to use a belt as well as wraps years ago, and it's because I was going for a certain type of body style and body weight training. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't think that it is something that you need specifically for the goals that we have with you, right? So like we're aiming for fat loss as well as like overall conditioning and strength. Right. So it's not something that I would worry about. And so there's a lot of people that just wear them and use them just because they think it's cool and they don't even know how to use them properly. You have to like breathe a certain way with them. But I wouldn't tell you that you need that. Now, if someone here uses that, just make sure you use it the right way. We can talk about that, but I don't think you specifically need that.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Savannah, what you got for me? Start with the win. I forgot to ask that. Sorry, Sarah, I'm gonna need your win later. Go with your win.
I didn't guilt myself into going to the gym when I had it scheduled for another day today because I had moved it.
Did you do it or you didn't do it? I didn't hear you right.
No, so like I had already moved it for Saturday.
Uh-huh.
So, and I've pulled in the parking lot once today and I was like, no, I have it set. Just listen.
Yeah. So you stuck to the change you've made.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, 'cause
I
meal
heard your
prep
video
today.
the other day about the tire.
Oh man, that was so cold. So that was like,
Way to be vulnerable. Way to share. Thank you for that, Savannah.
you're welcome. So that was kind of like going back to like what Sarah said. Everything seems so much harder in the cold, but I do want to know, why do I feel like I should be doing more cardio? Is
Why?
that like a mental thing that I
You
feel
tell
like
me why.
I don't know. Like if I'm losing weight, why am I deadlifting? Why am I
So what is the cardiovascular word for? What is cardio for? So cardio it's in the word, right? It's like it's for your heart. It's for your heart. Cardio is cardiovascular word. That's what it's short for. And there's nothing wrong with it, but the thing is it actually makes you hungrier and eventually your success with doing only cardio will taper off. So we do have you doing some cardio in there. We do have you doing some steps. We do have you doing the incline, right? But cardio work in and of itself isn't going to be the thing that like boosts you into losing more weight. Like when you see boxers doing cardio, it's because they do hundreds and hundreds of hours of other stuff as well on top of the cardio. So like if we're not doing the weight lifting and then we think, well, I should go and do some cardio, like that actually hurts you. The weightlifting, doing a day of weightlifting versus missing the day of weightlifting and then going on the treadmill for 30 to 40 minutes one day, you're losing progress instead of doing the actual weightlifting on that day because cardio is going to help your heart and you will burn some fat. But the thing is, it slows down a lot. It slows down a lot more than if you're doing weightlifting. Weightlifting boosts testosterone, which increases your metabolism, and it actually burns fat for a longer period of time, right? And we actually grow muscles this way. When we grow muscles, that also burns fat consistently. So you don't need to do more cardio. If you want to do more cardio, the only thing that I'm going to ask you to do is always, always, always do it in addition to what you're doing. And the walking is cardio. Yes, Allison, I saw that. That's why you're on the treadmill. So if you feel like you need to sweat more, because sometimes, there's that feeling of like I did something, right? So like if you're completely soaked in sweat and your heart's racing, you can do that with a 5-minute walk on a treadmill, and then you might feel like you did something. Or you can do a consistent workout that, yeah, you'll break your sweat a little bit, but you might not be as soaked as if you're on a treadmill for 5 minutes, like running, but you would have accomplished more. So I don't think of like you need to be completely soaking in sweat to get a good workout, right? And by the way, like as you do your session, if you want to make it harder for yourself and you're like flying through it and you're having like no issues with the form and you're doing the right weights and you're going up and up and up, if you want to shorten your break, your rest for like maybe 30 seconds at most, you can do that. That'll actually speed you up a little bit as far as your heart rate. Does all that make sense? What follow-up questions do you have for me?
No, I just maybe it's like a mindset, but the people I follow, they talk about you don't have to do endless amount of cardio, and I feel like sometimes catch myself wanting to do more cardio.
You can do more cardio. There's nothing wrong with doing more, but the thing is like,
yeah, I just started doing laps around the track, like just walking, like a brisk walk. 13 laps is a mile at our gym. So.
And that's perfectly fine, but I want you to remember, like never.
It's an addition, not a replacement.
Yeah. Like if you're doing your workout and like you only, I'll give you an example. So like I love the sauna, right? And I was at the gym on Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, Monday with Sam. So I like to do the sauna. It was Tuesday, and I knew that if I did the entire workout, I wasn't gonna have sauna time. So like sauna will always be an addition, which means that I'm not gonna go do the sauna and then cut my workout short. I'm not gonna go and walk around the track and then cut my workout short. Like the workout will always be the thing that matters more as far as losing weight, as far as making progress, as far as like getting the results that you want instead of doing a mile. And by the way, if you're walking on the track, I'm going to recommend you hop on the treadmill instead, because that track, it's not going to speed up on its own for you, and it's not going to slow down. It's not going to incline for you. It's not going to decline for you. Like if you're on a treadmill, you set it and that's what you have to do. It'll be that much harder for you. You can't just like slow down, get distracted. Make sense? All right, cool. Conroy, what question do you have?
I got my butt up at 5 a.m. and went to the gym.
Let's go.
I didn't push myself and push it off to after work.
I'm proud of you. Damn, son. That's awesome. I love that.
It is damn hard for me. And tomorrow's my day off. I know it's going to be hard. It's like I want to stay in bed.
So like,
now that I'm going to
so have your day off tomorrow by waking up, going to the gym, and then you got your day off, right? Because if not, say, I'll make it to the gym.
Yeah.
Before you know it.
I do that and I push it off till nighttime.
Let's freaking go. All right. What's your question, Conroy?
Not really a question. Like how to motivate my butt on my days off. Get to the gym or motivate my butt to go to the gym in the morning at 4:30, like on work days.
Yeah.
And then to come home and not just say, oh, you know what? My back's killing me. I feel like crap. Let me lay down.
So have you ever done it before?
I have.
Talk to me about that day. So you woke up early on a day off. You went to the gym?
Actually, no, I haven't. I
haven't.
I haven't.
I appreciate your honesty. So this is a good thing right here, right? So this is a signal. You can either have two things. When we're self-aware, everybody listen to this, right? So when we're self-aware, we can either have an example of something that we've done and we know the result that will happen because of that. So therefore we can replicate it by like remembering why we did that and why it was important to us. Or we can have the example like we've never done it. So therefore we don't know, right? So like you've never done that. You've never had a day where like it's an off day and you wake up and you go to the gym and then you do the rest of your day without feeling the way that you feel. Honestly, the one piece of advice that I would give you is why don't you find out what it's like? Like give yourself the grace to actually do the things that you want to do. Because we give ourselves all this grace of like, well, I need a day off, but like give yourself the grace to actually follow through with the plan that you want to follow through with. Because if you want to wake up and go to the gym, if you want to like come back and have a list of things that you're going to tackle on your days off that you've been like not worrying about during the week. Yeah. And then if you want to have downtime and if you want to watch the sports game or whatever, I don't even know what freaking sports team is on. Like if you want to do those things, the thing is you have to respect yourself enough to do the things that allow you to feel at peace with yourself. Because if you don't go to the gym and you come back and maybe you crack one open and you're chilling on the couch and your back hurts, like you're going to feel some shame. You're going to feel some guilt. And it won't even be like for me or from anyone here. It's from you, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So like imagine having the best day ever. Imagine waking up, doing the workout, tackling the 5 things that you want to do for the day.
I will.
And then
try
actually
it out tomorrow and go at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
All right. Well, I want to see a gym post tomorrow, 5 a.m. I want to see a gym post. I want you to have the very best day ever tomorrow, Conroy. Like, I don't care how cold it is. I don't care what's going on in the world. Like, I want you to wake up tomorrow, Conroy. As a matter of fact, say it right now. Tomorrow will be the best day ever. Conroy, where you at? Say it. And we lost him. His connection is down. He is driving through no man's land. All right. Well, Conroy, if you can still hear me, tomorrow will be the best day ever for you. I really want you to, like, focus on that. Like, intentionally eat healthy foods that make you feel good. Do not answer text messages you don't want to answer to. Don't pick up phone calls that you don't want to like take. Avoid social media if you need to. But like really have the best day ever. And we lost them. That's fine. I'll post a replay. This is for everybody. Like imagine what it would be like to have the best day ever and how you would feel. Because if you've never had that day, then how do you know? And then by the end of the day, like you will realize how amazing it feels to put your head down on your bed and go to sleep knowing that like you really did it today. All right, Lisa, how are you? I'm so happy to see you here. This is the point of this. I love this because I want you guys to ask questions. I don't want you to wait till check-ins. Like anything you guys want to ask, this is the place to do it. Lisa, let's hear it. I'm here for it. It's good to see you, by the way. Start with the win. I think I know what the win is, but start with the win.
I have 2 interviews that just popped up today.
Yes.
And so far I've done 1 interview, so I have 2 possibles.
Oh, yes. Woo,
it keeps me in the area, so I get to be home every day.
That is amazing. I'm so freaking happy. Like, before you know it, It's going to come your way. You're manifesting it. This is going to happen for you. Be absolutely like just ridiculously positive and delusional because it's going to happen, Lisa. I love that. Thank you for sharing the win. And what is the question? How can I serve you today?
The question that I have a couple of questions. At what point does protein, you're increasing protein, at what point, or does it ever come to a point where it starts adding as weight gain?
I see what you're saying. So are you curious if,
effect?
okay, so like basically, can protein have an adverse effect on you? Is it possible to have too much protein? And like, is there a point when we have to focus on something different, kind of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like the general rule of thumb, is like you want to aim for the like grams of protein based on the weight that you are trying to get to, right? That's a little bit more for men than it is for women. For women, it's technically a little bit lower. But the answer is no, as far as can protein adversely affect you. Now, of course, there's exceptions to that, right? When you're trying to let's just say, I'll give you an example. So like if you are trying to either lose weight or gain weight, it doesn't really matter as far as what type of protein you're putting into your body, as long as you're hitting the numbers. Now, if you're trying to like lose weight and you're trying to do it in a very like healthy manner, you want to focus on organic meats. You want to focus on making sure that the protein is coming from more whole foods than anything else. But if you're trying to get to a certain weight and you're trying to put on a certain weight and you're having, even if you're having trouble like eating the organic or the whole foods as protein, whether it be tuna, salmon, chicken, eggs, bacon, whatever, like you name it, you can supplement with protein shakes. You can do casein protein. You can do, vegan-based protein. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't want you to feel like you need to change your protein goals. Now, when do we review or when do we change the protein goals? So it's going to be based on the weight that we're trying to get to, but it's also going to be based slightly in your activity level. So if you went from someone that was very sedentary and weighed very heavily to someone that all of a sudden has become more active and, is losing weight consistently, then we would possibly lower your protein intake. And that protein intake number is more tied to your calorie intake than just the protein for your body. So it's more of a calorie adjustment, and that is something that I do look at every single time we do a check-in to see if we do need to make any changes there. Because I know we did talk about that during your last check-in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And the other question, okay, go ahead.
No, go for it. No, you ask away.
The other question that I have also is, like in physical therapy, if you're attending physical therapy, at some point they say that you've plateaued to where, you can't do anymore or you're not progressing or whatever. Is that possible also for us when we're weight training?
So, Lisa, as far as plateauing.
Like plateauing. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so as far as plateauing, like, I know why you're asking this. Like, I know that you feel like you're there, right? And like, this is the perfect use of what today was for, because I want you guys to like really be like you do your check-ins and you type it out and then I send you a video, but there's no feedback back and forth, which is why we're doing these. And like, if you guys got your questions answered and you have to take off, perfectly fine. But if you still have a question, like, hang out. I'm going to be here. I'm not putting an end time on these. I'm going to do these every week. So, Lisa, right now, like, I don't personally feel like you are in a plateau area. I feel like right now you've stepped it up in such a big way where you've actually been like consistently doing the workouts. I think what might be happening is that you're consistently doing these workouts now and you are getting results. You're just not seeing them as fast as you thought you would when you started doing more. Right. And I think that happens when we're doing some of the stuff here and there and we're getting some results here and there. And then we start doing all the stuff and then we're like getting some results here and there. We're like, why are we not getting more results? So like, it's delayed, right? And what I mean by that is that it doesn't happen all at once. It's still going to happen kind of on that curve. And the curve is still happening, but it's just going to be a little bit more delayed. And it's actually going to be more consistent because the more weight you lose, the healthier you get. Sometimes the slower the body gets to actually respond because now the body is getting healthier. Now the body doesn't feel like it's in this kind of survival mode anymore, right? So like you are getting healthier in a lot of different ways. Number one, like your sleep is improving, and we need to keep improving that, because when we do that, your body will actually be like, all right, I can start producing more testosterone and speed up my metabolism because I don't have to like worry about survival. When we're not sleeping a lot, we don't go into our circadian rhythm cycles, and therefore like our body cannot and it will not like work for us. Right. So like we do have phased programming, and you guys, your phases do change as far as the workouts, but like the plateauing is not happening. You might feel like you're plateauing in a certain area, but there's other areas that you're still improving in. And if we want to focus on improving on those areas where you feel like you're not making the same progress that you want to make, you have to focus on the thing that you're not like necessarily looking at as much. So this isn't just for you, but for everybody. If you're thinking that, well, I have trouble with my morning routines, my morning routines are always off, I can never get going in the mornings, like, then look at your nighttime routine. Like that's where it's happening. There's something happening that you're not setting yourself up for success in the morning. If you're having trouble with the weight loss and you feel like the numbers are not going down on the scale, then talk to me about your sleep and how many steps you're getting throughout the day. Right? So like those things matter just as much. It's not just one or the other. And I know that like you're not plateauing. Like I feel very confident that this check-in is going to be fucking awesome. Does that help, Lisa?
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Do the check-in. We'll talk about it. We're going to look a little more specifically at some more stuff this check-in, and we'll see if we have to make any more adjustments as far as your calorie intake. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Does someone else have their hand up? If not, I'm coming back to you, Sarah.
Sometimes I feel like there's so many changes or habits I'm trying to learn. And sometimes I just feel like so much. Like, how do you, how do you prioritize? How do you pick which one? Like I've always tried to do it like, okay, I feel like I have this down and now let me add this to it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just the winter. I don't know what it is, but lately I'm just like, everything feels a lot. Like it's a lot.
So do you remember what I said earlier about like you have to think about what is going to be those non-negotiables? Like what are the things that really... All right, I'll put it to you this way. There's two options here. You can either pick the low-hanging fruit and you can do the thing that is easy to continue to do, like a habit that you have nailed down that you can like keep telling yourself like, well, at least I'm still drinking my water. But then you can easily like just give up the cold showers in the morning and tell yourself like, oh, well, I'll pick it up next season, right? But then we become seasonal people. And when we become seasonal people, it's very hard to pitch something back up during the off season. And then we come back in the season all of a sudden. Like it has to be kind of a lifestyle, right? Like it has to be kind of a year round thing, right? Like there's definitely things that we have to switch up year round. We can't necessarily always do them.
So I guess I kind of like, it's like my schedule it changes, right? In the summer, I'm a lot more free. I was like doing really well. And then during volleyball season, I was so busy that I felt like everything had to be planned out. And so I was like super committed. Otherwise, I would miss things. And now I'm in like this. I work a little, I have free time a little bit, and I just am like, like all of a sudden, I don't know what to do. And I do, but my head's just a little.
So what I would say to that is that like you have to pick which habits you really want to work on because they're the things that really influence you. And then you have to be honest with yourself about what are those habits that really influence you. Because you could easily talk yourself out of doing something hard just by telling yourself like, well, to be honest, like it's not really helping or it doesn't work for me. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I saw your message about the Pavlok. Like it works. You just have to use it the right way. Right? So like you could easily talk yourself out of using it and be like, well, this doesn't work for me. But like it freaking works. Like if you set it up to where you have to get up out of bed before it, like is your Pavlok set to 100 right now? Like 100% shock?
I don't know.
So like
I
you
don't
know.
like it. It scares me.
It doesn't matter. It's supposed to scare you. So like
then why did I fall back asleep?
Because you probably don't have it set to 100% and you probably don't have it set up to where you do jumping jacks to stop it. Right?
I hate the Pavlok.
Who said that?
Allison.
I love it. God.
Does it wake you up? Did you get up out of bed?
Hold on. Sorry, I'm still on the treadmill. I guess I had it set up once. Normally I would like do my jumping jacks before it shocks me, but as soon as it shocked me, I like threw it across the room. And like I never wanted to put it back on ever again.
So then start tapering it lower.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right, we're doing this. I'm gonna show you
No.
guys. No, I'm gonna show you. I'm not gonna shock you through this, but I'm gonna show you guys how to set it up. All right,
I
so
started out at 50.
Don't
and
want
then
it.
I
100.
still want to answer your question. So, like, you answered it yourself, right? Like, you know that when things were busy, crazy, like what I was saying earlier, like you had to have everything organized, and like now you're kind of losing that edge a little bit because like life is a little bit more free. It just means that all those things that you've been complaining about, like not being able to get to inside your head, not to us. I'm not saying that. Like now is the time to do them, right? So like this is a season of you like taking an internal look and deciding what you completely want to revamp, redo in your life. You don't have to wait till January. I'll tell you right now, like I have stuff that's popping all the time in my house. Like I'm donating, I'm getting rid of, I'm emptying out at least probably about 200 pounds of clothes from this house because I have too much clothes in this house. And it's something that's continuously ongoing, but it is scheduled. I don't just randomly do it. Right. So like if there's stuff in your life that you want to do, like this is when you do it. There's no way that I could do that in January. That's it. January, I'm done with that. I don't want to tackle that. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to think about it. So I'm doing it now. Right. So like, there's things that just you don't have to follow any rules of society. You don't have to go to every Christmas party. You don't have to do everything. You choose what you want to do with your time. You don't have to go outside if you don't want to. You can go and be with your friends and go ice skating or do whatever. Just remember, like, you have to decide what are you going to sacrifice, like time with your friends or time getting stuff done that you need to get done. And I'm not telling you that one is wrong and one is right. I'm just telling you, like, find that kind of like balance in between. But when you get to the end of the month, if you haven't accomplished the things that you wanted to accomplish, it means that you didn't dedicate enough time to it, right? All right. So for anyone that doesn't have the Pavlok, I'm not telling you guys to go buy this, but I will tell you this was my game changer in waking up in the mornings. Why? Well, because I had a lot of trouble with it. And I tried different things. I tried the old school loud like alarm clock across the room that, you know, and no, like I would just turn it off and go back to bed. This was something that I bought that helped me get up. And it is only a gimmick if you don't treat it with respect or use it, right? So this is the Pavlok app for anybody that has it. They do have deals going on. I don't know, you know, I don't make a commission off of this. I'm not associated with them, but I use this every night and I make sure I put it on and it wakes me up in the morning and it's programmed a certain way for me. So for everybody that has the Pavlok, this is what I'm going to recommend you program it in. All right, wonderful. So the Pavlok right now, says it's not working because it's not connected because it's upstairs and I might not be able to play with this then. Darn. All right. Let me see if it'll pair from here. Bluetooth service disabled. Maybe. Hold on. All right. I might have to go grab it from upstairs. And I do want to do it because it's worth doing. Let me see if it'll connect from here. Bluetooth is on. All right. I'm going to go grab it. Give me 2 minutes. Talk amongst yourselves. Somebody choose, be a group leader.
Hello, everybody. How we doing? Who's new in the group today?
Nobody
Yeah,
jumps up,
Lily?
Sarah. You're it.
What? Do you want me to
Lily?
do my phone?
What's up, Jaime?
Hey, what's up? Who's new in the group? I haven't. Joe, you
Lily,
don't say much.
Really?
Lily and Joe, you guys don't say much. Are you there? Hello?
yeah, Sarah, I
Hello?
have my Pavlok. I don't think I'm on. No, maybe I am. I don't know.
I'm
You
here.
know,
I'm
like
just
your hoodie.
this is Lily and I'm on, but
Thank
you know, this is the first time I Zoom on an actual iPhone. I always have my laptop. So
Yeah.
Gotcha.
trying to swipe
Yeah.
through screens and find
Our food was ready 20 minutes ago.
yeah, that's all
I-
new.
I tell you, I give you a hint or I give you a tip. I'd recommend that you download the app on your phone, the Trainerizer app, and on a tablet or your laptop.
Rather
Okay.
than just I just copied
No,
and
no.
pasted because I'm like
No. Yeah, no, I'm both. Have the app downloaded on your laptop your cell
Well,
phone, or if you
I
have
make it a
another tablet.
habit not to bring my laptop home.
Oh,
I
I
keep
see.
it at work. Yeah,
I
I
see.
keep it at work,
Okay.
and so this is the first time I'm zooming on an iPhone. So I'm like,
Gotcha.
Hey,
All right.
Coach, they're doing a 40% off sale on the pad block right now. That's one of the biggest sales they've had.
Awesome.
What's the health food?
That's.
Are you a teacher?
I'm guessing we're getting to know Lily.
oh, what was the question?
Are you a teacher?
I retired from education just a couple years ago. Mhm.
Well, I'm glad
But
you guys
yes,
got a
I
chance
have
to.
I've taught middle school and high school.
Oh,
And,
wow.
yeah,
Cool. Congrats.
thank you.
Just shot myself. God damn.
It's
I hope that was
awful.
Coach. I hope so.
It's awful.
I just
I
shot myself.
hate it so
That's
much.
good.
Yeah. All right. So
Hey, it works.
this is the Pavlok. You guys see
Fell
it?
back asleep though.
Well, we didn't talk about that. So this is the Pavlok. It's typically, I don't know, $100, whatever. I would probably pay a lot more for this if they charged more. The reason is because it's helped me build systems and habits now to where I wake up the first time my alarm goes off, and it sets you up. I have not been shocked by this probably in about like a week. And you're probably wondering like, well, why? Well, because you want to start off setting it up a certain way, and then you want to work your way towards that. Right. And what I mean by that is that you can set it up. Let's see if it opens up right here. All right. So it's pairing. I bought an aftermarket wrist bracelet. What do you call this? Straps for it. Because I didn't like the ones it came with because it fell off my wrist all the time. But this is the configurations. So don't worry about those. What you're looking for is.
Sarah, are you taking notes? You're not just looking?
She's shaking her head saying, I don't want to do this. I don't know.
Oh,
It's awful.
She's like, I really don't want to use it, so I don't want to pay attention.
It's not
It's
awful.
really not that bad. I quit sleeping in because of this damn thing, and my body now wakes up earlier because I don't want to get shocked.
I gotta get me
this
one of
is
those.
expecting it, huh?
I
there.
overslept with it today.
Yes, because you don't
Then
have
turn
it
it
set
on
up
to 100.
properly.
No. You're making
I
me whine.
All right, here we go. So Pavlok alarms. So this is what you want to work on right here. So vibrations. You can do 2 vibrations to start with, right? So you can actually turn on vibrations, turn on beep, and turn off zap. So status interval, 15 seconds. So interval between device triggers. So if you have it set up to 15, it means that first it will vibrate twice. And then 15 seconds later, it'll beep twice. 15 seconds later, it'll zap you twice. Okay? Now, you have 45 seconds from the first time that you feel that vibration. But if right now you are not feeling the vibration because maybe you have it set to 30, like
It
you
all
need to
says-
raise it to 100. Yours is to 100 already?
No. All of mine were set at 50, like vibrations.
Yeah, put them at 100. Put them at 100, all of them. Yeah, the vibration is the vibration. It's not going to hurt you. Like the vibration, you want that at 100 because if you have it set at 50 and the vibration doesn't wake you up, guess what
Right.
will? You see what I'm saying? Like the shock will.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I have my vibration set at 100. It's 2 vibrations. So beep, it vibrates, vibrates twice. That means that like my body has been programmed to like know that the shock is coming. It's Pavlovian, right? So like it's meant to make you think of something. It's the salivation. But if your body starts to get used to the fact that like it knows that when your wrist vibrates and then you have a certain beep because the tone is different than anything else that's like it doesn't sound like your phone, eventually you will be shocked. Now, what you have to do is you have to make sure that the thing that turns it off, which it's not letting me do here, but I do 3 zaps at 100. Like I want to feel it because what happens is, see, it's not letting me change it here. So you see Monday through Saturday, and the alarm says, go jump in the ice barrel. It doesn't matter what it says. It tells me 100, 100, 100. The guarantee, this is what matters right here, Sarah. The guarantee, I have jumping jets. I have to do 4. All right. I'm going to tell you something. I'm actually going to be switching this because I want to do ice barrel first thing in the morning, not wake up, do some jumping jacks, go brush my teeth, lollygag around the house, like work my way to the barrel. No, I want to do jumping jacks first, like not the a barrel first in the morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch it to QR scan, right? So this has to be done before my alarm stops going off, which means that if I don't make it to my door and scan the QR code that I'm going to tape it right on my like rear door, my porch door, whatever it's called, and I have to take a picture of it, it won't stop. Right? And I'm not taking this off my wrist and throwing it across the room, Allison, because that means I'm losing integrity with myself, because that means that that's how easy it is for me to like not take it seriously. So like you just have to remember, like, how bad do you want it? Because you can easily do it and like sleep in a little bit. But then at the end of the day, you're like, man, I was supposed to wake up early today. Oh, tomorrow I'll do it. But then the same thing happens tomorrow. So like you have to make it so easy that your action threshold has been lowered because it's all automated and you have the system of how you do it, that you just start doing it consistently. Before you know it, you're going to wake up with the vibrations, not the shock. And you can set it up differently. Like let's see, the QR scan code. I'm pretty sure I have to print it. Wake up Q code, print. I'm going to print it. Bum, 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 bum. And I'm paste it on my rear balcony door, or not balcony. Let's see if my printer shows up. It did not show up. That's fine. I will send it to my computer. Hansmat Studio. Boom, there it is. And it's over here. And I'm going to print it from here. All right. So because I've made that change, I'm going to give myself a little bit of grace to make it to that barrel, right? I'm going to give myself at least, I can't change it again. Well, I'll change this later, but I'm going to give myself probably at least a minute to make it there. But that means that maybe the vibrations, it needs to be, I'm going to make it 4 if it lets me. Yeah, cool. 4 vibrations. And I'm going to give myself 4 alerts with the beeps. And I'm still going to do 3 saps at 100. As a matter of fact, I'm going to up the ante. I'm going to do 4 saps just in case. And I'm going to change this once it lets me change it on my actual phone to a minute. Play with the settings, but at the same time, like, don't make it so easy for yourself that you take it off and throw it across the room. Like, make sure the vibration's at 100. It'll vibrate in the morning, and that's going to be the thing that wakes you up before you know it. Like, I don't wake up to the shock anymore. I wake up to the vibrations, and I know what's coming. So I'm like jumping jacks right away. I don't even think you asked about the Pavlov, did you? Or did I just go off on a tangent?
No, it was, I messaged you and I
Oh,
said, hated it.
Well, now there's a loom. How to set up your Pavlov.
I think I'm like so delirious though. The first night, it was not reading the jumping jacks.
It reads them.
No, it did not. It
It
just
does.
kept going off, and I was like, I'm not jumping jacking right.
It does. It does. Now, if you're cheating the
So
system and if you're just waving your hand up and down like this in the
No, I
bed,
was not. I was obviously it didn't work. I'm sorry.
all right.
Awful.
Who
It's
had a
awful.
question before we keep going off here? Lily, you're just joining, and I'm going to give you space to have I think Jaime had a question because I saw his whole hands up. Yeah. So I'm sorry, you did it right, Jaime. Why am I over here chastising you? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why.
I need it. I probably need it. You're just like used to saying it.
Maybe.
So I'll start off with a win.
Yeah, let's go with it. What's the win, my man?
That is, I was a day early for my VA appointment.
Let's go.
It's tomorrow. So anyway, I had a sleep insomnia class today, and my biggest win from that class was 2 hours. Was they talked about behaviors, right?
Yep.
In your sleep habits, sleep hygiene. And a visual that I wrote down that stuck out to me was this. For those of us in the room who are still here and has children, what does that room look like when you put your baby to bed, your toddler to sleep? And I wrote down, well, it's dark, it's quiet, it's cool, there's probably a white noise, there's no lighting.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
So in my place where I live, we have these automatic sensors like for security in the whole property. My bedroom window is literally outside the front door, even though there's a roof on the private entrance.
Yeah.
The light is so bright. I change the settings. Like I don't want it on all the time.
Yes.
So I have to throw a blanket over the shades to block out the light, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm doing that.
That's huge.
I'm in bed. I'm still trying to read this book, but it's there.
I bought my copy. It's upstairs.
It's fantastic. But, yeah, that was a big takeaway to
I love that.
that visual. Like that makes sense, right?
Yeah. We do it for our kids, but we have a hard time doing it for ourselves.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
we need to like put ourselves in that mindset.
Yeah.
What's that going to look like for us?
I'm going to give you I don't know if you have a question, but I want to say something about that real quick. So I'm slowly upgrading my house to the way that I want it because it's my house now. I'm taking it back. I have never lived in this house, like honestly, by myself, even with my kids now, since I bought it in 2016. I've always had somebody here, or I actually Airbnb'd it for 2 years and I was living in my basement. This is the first time that I have the whole house, really, to like for me and my kids. But I'm slowly upgrading everything. And what I mean by that is that you could spend a lot of money in 1 month and change out all your light bulbs to Hue light bulbs. It'll be expensive. And everyone tells themselves like, well, I can't afford that. But if you budget properly and you give yourself like every month, you buy one thing that helps you upgrade your house to what you want, it's easier to do. So like every single month, I do put it in my budget to upgrade something in my house. The next thing that I'm upgrading is I'm actually going to be replacing a lot of the light bulbs in 3 rooms, and eventually will be all rooms, to where they have automations for me because I want to lower my action threshold. One of the things I do every night is I make sure I turn off all the lights around 7 p.m. and I leave some lights on. But imagine how much easier it would be for me not only to do it, but for it to happen, and therefore it creates and it triggers that it's time to start winding down, time to get the kids to bed, time to do shower time, bath time, and time to do all these things. When the lights like they'll flicker like boom boom, it'll warn you. My Alexa will tell me it's time to wind down. All the lights come down on their own, and then I just do my thing, and then they'll turn off at a certain time. And my bedroom light is actually programmed to turn on with whatever time I have my alarm set for. So like my bedroom light will turn on in the morning. When by the time I get out of bed and I'm doing jumping jacks, my bedroom light is on. Right? So like I'm slowly changing things in my house for how I want. I'm slowly like buying I have to buy blackout curtains for certain rooms because streetlights, I don't want streetlights to be showing into my house at a certain time because that is still going to keep you awake. If you can see your hand in front of your face, like from this far, it's too bright in your room. Like your room does need to be pitch black. Now, I also wear a sleep mask, but my sleep mask is so old that it actually falls off in the middle of the night, which I kind of like because then I wake up and I don't have like that easy excuse of me just keeping the sleep mask on and like just staying in bed because the lights are on. So like I have everything pre-programmed and it takes time to do it, but like it's 2024 and guess what? Like technology is a tool. The same way that we use it for all these other things that like waste our time and tickle our brains, we have to use it for things that make our life easier. We have to lower our action threshold. We have to be masters of our life. We are creators of our environment. So I love that you brought that up because that's something that like is very personal to me. So thank you, Jaime, for sharing that with us. What's your question, my man? I want you to come up with something. If you don't, I think you have something.
I have noticed looking back at the Loom videos, which are really, really cool. Like when I first got one, I'm like, oh, I forgot that we had this piece. Like, oh, okay.
I remember.
This is cool. Right. Okay, I'm getting feedback now. Shit. Cool. And looking back and have an opportunity to look at, okay, you're not eating enough protein. Let's try this. You want a more challenge? Okay, let's add this. You're saying this, okay, but consistently since I started, yeah, my sleep hasn't been consistent outside of those few days, and like I can really feel the difference. Like right now, I'm at the gym because I'm here and I'm still trying to recover, but I'm here. And um, I think my question for you is I threw it in the chat is when do you know to push yourself when you are mentally fatigued, not physically, but mentally fatigued to try, right?
So like when you're mentally off track.
I would okay, thank you. I'll be more specific. I would say mentally exhausted because you have an illness, not a mental health, but more of physical sickness.
Yeah.
Right. When do you know that point? Like, okay, it's okay to go now.
Yeah.
Or no, I should wait, should rest.
Okay, I love the question. I love that. So, do you guys watch any of David Goggins' stuff? All right. So I love the guy, but I have a personal issue with a lot of the things that he says publicly. And one of the biggest issues that I have with what David Goggins says is, if you guys have noticed, he is an individual. Like, he does not have a community. Like, there's David Goggins fans, but Jocko has a community of people. Like, there's people that are loyal to Jocko because Jocko like creates this culture, and he talks about the fact that like you can have discipline, but you also have to be a good human being, right? So like David Goggins is very polarizing, and he does it for a reason. But one of the things that David Goggins says is that you always have to push yourself. And the problem with that is that when people feel like they don't push themselves because they need rest and recovery, they almost feel like they're failing, and they're not. So when do you make the decision of, do I push myself right now, or do I give myself time to recover and to rest and to feel better so I can tackle this tomorrow? So this is what I do. When I am feeling mentally exhausted, when I'm feeling a little bit sick, this morning I woke up and I had a sore throat. And number one thing that I do is figure out why, right? So I'm paying attention to my environments. I'm looking at what's different, what's changed, obviously the temperature, but I'm also realizing that right now the air is very dry in my house. So what did I do? I busted out all the humidifiers, because it doesn't just affect me, it affects my kids too, right? And they might not be able to vocalize it or verbalize it the same way, especially my daughter. But my son had a bloody nose a couple of nights ago. So I immediately pay attention to what is the thing that's causing this. It could be seasonal, it could be, something that is viral, and it could be like something like that, right? But we got to pay attention to what's causing it. And that is like the root issue of like making sure it doesn't happen again, or at least you start addressing it. But to answer the question of like, what do you do or what can you do? I personally do one thing that is hard still. So like a non-negotiable for me that I do even when I am not feeling great, because I've done it on days when I feel sick, is I still jump in my ice barrel in the morning, because it does help with my immune system. If I have a migraine, guess what? I'm jumping in the ice barrel because it takes it away, because blood loves heat. It doesn't love the cold. So if I jump in an ice barrel, that throbbing migraine that I'm having from the blood pulsating in my head is going to move away from my head, and it's going to move towards my heart, which I want in the moment. So for your instance, what I would do is like, you need to pay attention to your body, and at the same time, find what you can do. And that thing that you can do, it doesn't necessarily mean a workout. It might mean that you like take a nap to recover for like the day during midday if you can. But it also might mean like going for a walk and getting some fresh air. It also might mean like you got to focus hard on your meal prep for the next couple of days if you are feeling sick. It might be that maybe your sleep isn't the best that it can be, and it could be affected by the fact that you're working out late at night, right? So like I think a lot of us, we make the mistake of coming up with the wrong reason of why something happens, and then we will use that as a reason to stop doing something. So like maybe in the past, not you specifically, this is for everybody. Maybe in the past when you've worked out in the mornings.
Say that again. Say that again.
So I think sometimes the mistake that we make is that we will come up with the wrong reason of why something is happening, and then we will use that as the excuse to stop doing the thing. Right? So what I mean by that is like, let's just say that you start taking magnesium threonate, which is a supplement that helps you fall asleep at night. But let's just say that 3 days in or 4 days in, maybe on the fourth day, you wake up real groggy and you start thinking or telling yourself that, oh, well, it's because of the supplement. It's likely not. It just might be that maybe you weren't well rested, or maybe you had an alcoholic drink the night before, or maybe you had ruminating thoughts because you forgot to throw on your binaural music. And instead of you thinking that it's because of the other things that you missed or the other things you didn't do, you tell yourself that it's because of X, Y, or Z, when in reality, it's because of A, B, C. So I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but I'm looping it back. When you aren't feeling 100%, do something that will get you to 70%. So like, I don't want you to feel like if you miss the gym today, it's going to hurt you tomorrow. Because in reality, maybe you moving your workout and you taking a nap in the middle of the day for 30 minutes or 40 minutes might be just enough to make you feel a little bit better. Maybe you focusing on like supplements and vitamins for the day, maybe drinking the tea instead of coffee for the day, maybe making sure that you get your greens for the day, maybe making sure that like you focus on getting your protein for the day, getting your steps in, going to bed maybe a little bit earlier than normal just so you can get another hour of sleep instead of just a 6 or 7. Like those are the things that are going to be you doing the hard thing, because those things are still hard to do. But you got to remember, like, it is not just about only lift weights and get these steps and get better sleep. It is about making sure that you're doing your workouts, but also giving yourself the challenge to be like, all right, today I'm not feeling 100%. I'm at 50. I'm going to focus on my meals today. I'm going to stay in the kitchen. I'm going to order food to be delivered, and I'm going to make sure that I have meals for the rest of the next couple of days. I'm going to make sure that I'm drinking at least a gallon of water a day today and tomorrow. I'm going to make sure that I have a humidifier in my room. I'm going to make sure that I am like winding down at the right time. I'm not going to just stay up watching TV because I want to feel sorry for myself. I'm going to make sure that if I need medicine, I'm going to take medicine and not avoid it. Right. So like doing all those things, dude, that's just as hard. Because we tell ourselves like, well, I need to do the hard thing. And we tell ourselves like the hard thing is like, I need to go to the gym and I need to do my workout. But then we're ignoring all the other things that are just as hard to do that will be the things that actually help us feel better for tomorrow. Because if I go to the gym and I'm at 50%, I'm going to give probably my 50% at the gym. I'm going to half-ass the workout. And like, we don't want that. Right. So like if today you recover, instead of going to the gym, maybe tomorrow you will be at 80% compared to if today you hit the gym, you half-ass it, and maybe your body is not really cooperating with you. Tomorrow you might still be at 50, right? Now that's not to say like skip everything. It just means you got to decide what are you going to do today that's going to be hard that maybe is the right thing to do today. And that hard thing, like I said, it might be taking medicine, getting some rest. Like maybe it's laundry day and you give yourself permission to like tackle something today so your Saturday opens up a little bit more and then you can do the gym on Saturday. Right? Is this resonating? Does this make sense?
No, absolutely. It does. I got sick somehow and contagious. My kids are back in Florida now. Their mother's sick. My oldest daughter is sick.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just trying to troubleshoot, like, well, this is what I'm doing to help me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't even talk right now. Okay. And trying to be parents and.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard, but you're showing up. You're showing up.
Well, yeah, it's hard, but I think the win is that we're trying to make it work. You know,
Yeah.
we're trying to make give our children the opportunity to succeed.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned because, well, she's the only adult.
Yeah.
And the oldest child, she's always working, so she's got to be good to take care of them.
Yeah.
I'm not there to live in a different state.
Yeah. But what I will say to that is that, remember, kids catch more than they learn. And yeah, not catching sicknesses. But what I mean by that is that if you continuously keep changing your lifestyle and you continuously keep being the example of like, look, dad is eating, something healthy and delicious, instead of like, oh, today we're feeling down, we're going to order some pizza, right? They're going to pick up on that and they're going to learn that. And that is one way that you can continue to influence your kids. Like I've made the recent decision. I've made a change in my parenting style with my son specifically, because I'm starting to see signs that he is becoming very much dependent on things being done for him. And the reason is because some of you may not know this, because it's not something that is happening anymore as much, but my son was born with a tethered cord and he couldn't walk up until the age of 2.5. He couldn't even crawl. And we put him in we put him in PT, we put him in physical therapy. We were doing all these different things, and like none of it was working. And I took him to my chiropractor one day, and this is why I love the chiropractor. And my chiropractor actually was able to diagnose him before any of my other doctors were. So he told me, he's like, I think he has a tethered cord. Bring this up to the doctor immediately. And we did. And he had surgery. And like 3 months later, he was walking, and he actually grew about like 5 inches in the matter of like a couple of months, because he was being physically stunted and physically limited because his spine, his spinal cord was attached to fatty tissue near the base of his lower back, his butt. So because of that, he has developmental issues. And to be honest with you, the doctor told us that we won't really know how it affected him until he gets older. Like he might develop issues where like he has trouble like using the restroom properly. And that's something that we're noticing now, right? He wears shoe inserts right now because his feet are slightly curved. And that's because he didn't develop properly because of the tethered cord. So what happened? We coddled him. We help him go up and down stairs because he still can't do it on his own. But the reason he can't do it on his own is because we continue to help him. So I'm not stopping from helping him. I'm working on empowering him and challenging him and showing him that he can do it. Because the moment that he does it, now he can. Now it's no longer, I can't do this. Daddy, I need help. It's like, I know that you can do it. I'm right here. I'm going to hold your jacket so you don't fall. And I've been working with him on doing more, because kids will catch more than they will necessarily learn. So if he sees me like waking up and getting up out of bed and jumping in my ice barrel and saying, today is the best day ever, like that is something that will stay with him forever. Right? So like your lifestyle change, the environment that you are creating for you right now, it matters so much more than you know. Like you are changing like the generational like bloodline, whether you know it or not. So like I want to commend you for that, and I want you to remember that the things you're doing, Jaime, it is for you because you are trying to be a better person, but it definitely translates over to your kids because they are paying attention more than you know, even if you don't see them all the time. And if you don't have a daily schedule where like you check in with your kids and talk to them, like start doing that. Make it a game where like you guys have a conversation. There you go.
It's on the calendar. I told the oldest one,
yes,
I'm talking to you Friday and following up with you like I always do, and then Sunday we're doing FaceTime. The youngest one he's the more productive one. He's the harder one to catch. I gotta figure that out.
I love it.
And the same thing with my own. Like, Daddy, I'm sorry, I'm so busy. Blah blah blah. Well, you gotta let me know when you're free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meet him where he's at. Like work around his schedule, and like help. If he's already so productive that he's getting so busy with stuff, like one of the things that he like will become an issue possibly is the fact that like he becomes so overproductive that like he doesn't have time for the things that he wants to do, right? So like start working with him on understanding that like even though he is young, he's still in control of some of his scheduling, some of the things that he wants to do. And
Yeah.
maybe that means like I don't know how old he is, but you know, maybe he can start using a calendar with you. Maybe you guys can yeah. So like at that point, like yeah, I mean they know how to use technology.
Yeah. That's a conversation I need to have with his mother and get him a better phone or figure out that piece because even she is feeling the pressure from his extracurricular activities. He's gifted.
Yeah.
You know, so mature for his age. And I mean, a win would be this is both my oldest son and her wanted to come to Chicago for Thanksgiving. And she's like, I'll talk to Nico, Dad, because I just got to talk to him. He's just, let me talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to come. He's like, no, Dad, I don't want to go. Next thing I know, a week later, Dad, I want to go. Go where? I want to go to Chicago. You want to go to Chicago for Thanksgiving? Yeah, Dad. All right, let's do it. Okay. So, like, Mr. I'll talk to you.
I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, because she gets him. She has that background in theater and entertainment.
That's awesome.
So,
I love it.
Yeah, I saw a lot of both of them. Like they're really close.
I love that.
Yeah.
Keep doing that. Keep doing it, and just be relentless with it. You know. And on the days that you're feeling down, you're feeling like out of it, like really be self-aware more than ever before. And like pay attention to everything that you do. Because if you start doing the things that are going to make you feel good for the moment, they may not actually make you feel good in the long run, right? So focus on the sleep. Do the hard thing that you can do. It doesn't have to necessarily be like doing the workout. It might be like I talked about, like focusing on nutrition, focusing on habits, focusing on getting your sleep right. Does that make sense? Does that help?
No, absolutely. I think
awesome.
To hear it from that perspective, you who are fathers, you understand the challenges of raising children when they have special needs.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. And sometimes you just don't you don't know, like, what do I do? Like, who teaches this stuff, right? Like,
but I think that deep down inside, you know what to do, and I think that when we take the shortcut, it's a shortcut that ends up hurting them so much more in the long run, right? So for a while, like my kids were living in my bedroom with me because that's all we had. And now it's to a point where like we have our whole house back and Oliver has his bedroom and he's having trouble like falling asleep in his bed because he feels like he wants to be with me. And now we're working on like training him to that. And it takes time, it takes effort. And I could easily give in because I love having him with me. But the thing is like that's going to stunt him in other areas where he doesn't feel like he can do things on his own. And I would not want that for him, right? So like I'm focusing on that as hard as it is, as much time as it takes. And because that's happening, I'm making sure that I allow and allot and schedule time for me to be able to mitigate that by having more time with him in his bed and reading him a story at night. I have something cool.
Do that. My boys love that, man, dude. Just do it. Just do it.
This is something I want to share with you guys. So for anybody that has kids, this might be useful. And even if you don't have kids, this might be useful. But this is something that I've started doing recently that is really freaking cool. And I'm going to share this with you guys. If you still have a question, Carlos, I know you haven't gone. Feel free to hang out and I will be with you in a second. If you guys have to hop off, perfectly fine. And I'm going to try and be real quick with this. So ChatGPT is a tool that I love using. But something that I created in ChatGPT is Oliver and Luna Adventures. So in here, I have created this prompt where I can tell ChatGPT, make me or write me a story about Oliver and Luna and Bluey, and because they love Bluey, and them going to the grocery store with Daddy, and Oliver gets lost and they learn a lesson. And it will write a story because it's lowering my action threshold of me trying to come up with stuff on my own. Right? So there's the story. Now, there are definitely times when I'm feeling a little more tired than usual, where I am trying to get Luna down because she's crying and I have Oliver at the same time. And I can actually go to the bottom and have the story read to him. I don't like to do that because I want him to learn my voice and I want him to hear the story from me. But if I have to, I will. And it writes a whole story out. Right? So here it is. Here's the story. And then at the bottom, it'll give me the option to read it for me or for me to read it. I don't know if it'll work on computer, but on the phone it does. Let's see.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so here, so you read, and it's trying to read it. Sometimes it takes a minute.
It's a heartwarming and fun story.
I don't know if you guys can hear it.
Bingo and Daddy going to the grocery store. Important lesson about staying together. The grocery store adventure. One sunny afternoon, Daddy announced, "All right, kiddos, we're running low on snacks and milk, so we're heading to the grocery store. Who's coming with me?" "I am," Oliver said, jumping up. "Me too," Luna added. Just then there was a knock at the door. It was Bluey and Bingo, wagging their tails and holding little tote bags. "Can we come too?" Bluey asked. "Of course."
And that's it. All right, Jaime, well, thank you for asking, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course. Carlos, did you have a question? Go ahead and take yourself off mute, share a win. I would love to see you. And thank you for coming today. I know that you made an effort to be here today.
Hey, Coach. Hi.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
How's your day going?
Good. So far, so good.
Good. I'm having the best day ever.
The best day ever. There you go. Yeah, my question. Oh, the win. I guess the win. Well, I got plenty of sleep. Maybe too much. You could call that a win for today.
Let's see.
But my question. You know, when you ask us to vote on a subject, on a subject for a future call that you were going to discuss about.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Are you going to continue doing that?
Yes, I will. I'm gonna set up a system. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna write it down to where I actually have a prompt every single month in the Facebook group that asks you guys to give inputs on what you would like to hear more about or have me do a coaching call about.
Okay.
So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Is there anything specifically that you want to hear a coaching call about that I could possibly knock out in the next couple of weeks?
One subject I thought of is like finances, maybe how to start a small investment.
Okay. So have you done the Savage Finances one module?
I gotta check it again. If I watched it, was a while ago.
All right. So I'm going to tell you to do that one again, but also I can definitely do something a little bit more. I can actually redo that module. As a matter of fact, I think I am going to redo that module, but I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to find it and send it to you. And yeah, I'll tell you this, like right now, feedback that I have right now is every purchase that you make, I want you to be like conscientious of what it costs you. So like it's not costing you $50 to buy a new t-shirt. It's costing you an hour and a half of your time. Because think about how much money you make at the job that you're at and how much you make in 1 hour or 2 hours. And then really ask yourself, do I need this shirt? If someone told me that I have to work for an hour and a half and they hold up this shirt in front of me and tell me, are you willing to trade? Would I say yes? And if the answer is no, then don't buy the shirts, right? So like time is what you make of it, which means is that you decide what and how your time works for you. So like there are things in my life that I am very much willing to pay someone to do. I pay a neighborhood kid to mow my lawn and to rake my leaves because I am not willing to give up time of my day to do that, because I understand that I could either be right here with you guys doing this, working on the business, being with my kids, or I could pay someone $20 to $30 to do those things for me. So it's just an offset of like, what do you hold more precious? Because people, especially in older generations, they have the mindset of like, well, I'm self-sufficient and I do everything for myself. I'm not going to pay someone to do everything for me. I'm not gonna go out of my way to figure out how to do my oil, and it doesn't make me any less of a man. I will pay the professionals to do it, and I will gladly pay what they asked me, because number one, I'm not gonna go and raise my action threshold to figure out how to do my oil change and then do it and then take the time and maybe mess it up or make a mess in my garage or X, Y, or Z. Right? Like I'm not going to do that. It's not worth the effort, right? For a while, I was paying for a laundry service. Why? Well, because I didn't have access to my own laundry room. Now I do. But what I did is I changed up my schedule and I only do laundry on certain days. I don't care how much laundry there is. It doesn't matter. It's in my schedule to get it done, and I will sacrifice that time to do it. And it is time when I'm not with my kids. It is time when I'm not working on my business. So like, if you want to get better with your money, you got to think of everything as like, how much am I willing to give up to get the thing that I'm trying to purchase, right? And there's things that are no-brainers. And when I say no-brainers, it means that, all right, so the book that I bought today cost me, I think, $19. The investment is that we make a connection here in the group, that Jaime has a chance to show up and lead the group, and like we learn something and we work together. That's the real return. The return, of course, will be the value of reading the book, but there's more return than just that, right? So like you guys did that with this. You can make the investment in paying for a coaching program and getting results, or you can use that money for something else and kind of live life day by day and try and make progress. But it's not that you can't do it, and that's why you hired someone. It's just that you want the blueprint, you want the community, you understand that the return is so much more valuable than what you have to give to get. So right now, I know that you're in a phase of like growth where you're trying to establish like, your money goal specifically. But I also want you to know that you need to start thinking of money differently. How can you make it work for you? Right? Because I'll tell you right now, I don't have any expertise in finances. I'll tell you that right now. I don't have any certifications, no courses that I've done extensively. I can tell you right now, I've learned a lot from all the mistakes that I've made. I've lost everything twice, right? There was a point when I took a screenshot of my bank account this year, and it was -5. -5. And the reason I took a screenshot was because I want to remember that. I want to remember the pain that I felt when I saw that, because I never want to be in that position again. So that's one of those points of like driving that pain and making it so much larger so you never feel that pain again. So anytime I think about buying something that I don't need, or anytime I think about getting another subscription, or anytime I think about, do I need the Netflix and the Hulu and the Disney? Like, I make a decision. I have Disney. Why? Because Bluey's on there. And it's worth having because I love Bluey, because Bluey teaches life lessons to my kids. It's much better, in my opinion, than other shows. Right? But it's just all about a trade-off. What are you willing to give up to be able to get the thing that you want? I don't have anything else. I don't have Hulu. I don't have Netflix. I have Disney. That's it. And that's for my kids. I don't really watch anything on there.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes. Thank you.
Of course. And I will find the Savage Finances for you, and I will send it to you.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Coach.
Of course.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye. All right, guys. If anyone has any other questions, we can keep going. If not, we can go ahead and hop off. Anybody have anything else?
Hang out with you, Coach, and we can talk about setting up the book club meeting if anyone got any more questions.
Yeah, we can do that.
How do we want to work this? So,
are you good?
Oh, yeah. You want to have any other questions?
I will say good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Thank you for joining. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful night. Get some rest. All right, that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. I hope you got some value. If you want to be a part of the Savage Squad, like I said, if you want to be able to ask me questions and show up to our weekly coaching calls where we do Mindset Mondays, Convos with JP, on Wednesdays and Thriving Thursdays, then click the link in the bio and apply. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Adios. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the VetRise Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, made you think, or simply gave you hope, I have a small favor to ask. Share it with just one veteran or someone you think could benefit from my message. Your share could light a spark for them. You don't know who you might save. For more insights and to join our mission, follow my socials at JP the Veteran Coach and explore how we can rise together. Thank you for joining us, for being part of this journey, and for believing in the power of rising together. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep rising, and never forget that we are stronger together. My name is Juan Perez, and thank you for your time.